Every year, hundreds of new games seek funding through a variety of crowdfunding platforms. And 2021 will start with one of the better games that I've had the chance to play. A very thematic Euro worker placement game in which players retrace the steps of Charles Darwin's adventure. Now, this is a game that was created by acclaimed board game designers Simone Luciani and Nestor Mangone, and will be released by Thundergriff Games, and has quickly become one of my most anticipated games of the year for many of the reasons I'm about to share. And after numerous plays, I'm still incredibly enthusiastic about the game and what the future will reveal. So here are the 5 things that I found most intriguing about Darwin's Journey. And number 5 is the game's use of theme and how it uses Darwin's Journey as a foundation for the gameplay, evoking a sense of exploration and discovery in the game. Now, one could argue that like most Euro games, the Darwin theme could simply be removed and replaced with another. And that certainly could be true here as well. Using something like space exploration as an example, however, credit should be given to the creators for paying particular attention to making sure that as much of the gameplay as possible could be thematically linked back to this historic trip. Now, like Darwin, you will be exploring the Galapagos Islands over 5 rounds, which represent the 5 years that he spent on board the HMS Beagle. However, you will be using your own ship and your own unique crew, trying to gather knowledge from the species that you discover, sharing that information back with your peers in England via letters, all in an effort to contribute to the development of Darwin's theory of evolution. And I'll make sure that I come back to that exploration part in just a bit. But to summarize, putting a theme on Euro games can be hard, and they don't always land. But in this case, I think Darwin's Journey does an admirable job of handling this historic event with as much care and attention to detail as possible. At number 4 is the game's central use of worker placement, one of my absolute favorite types of mechanisms in a board game. However, this time it comes with an interesting twist. That's because Darwin's Journey uses a unique progression system where each of your 3 workers will have to gain a variety of wax seals in order to perform several of the more powerful actions in the game. And many of the locations on the board have these required prerequisites for a worker to gain access to them. And I personally found this part of the game enjoyable because it provided yet another layer of direct competition, making players work diligently to develop their workforce in a way that would benefit them best. And more importantly, manage those same workers so they had the right combination of skills at the right time, so they weren't locked out of particular actions in a round, which can of course happen, meaning that the timing of one's actions becomes almost as important as the development of your workers who are actually taking them. And there are a lot of worker placement spots in the game, from static locations that allow you to move your ship in order to gain access to new islands for you to explore, to variable spots that are randomly introduced at the start of each game. There are even spots where all the players can go to freely, as well as those that require payments of coin if you go there after other players. Once again reinforcing the idea that players must look carefully at all the location requirements at the game's start, so they can best take advantage of whichever worker placement spots are available at any given time. Number 3 is what I would consider the game's secondary level, which is what I promised to come back to, and that's exploration. Now, there are entire games that revolve around just moving your components around the board to take actions or gain bonuses that fuel the game's win conditions. And then there are games where the exploration works in symbiosis with the main mechanisms of that game itself. Maracaibo, Newton, Great Western Trail, all these come to mind. And Darwin's Journey falls very much in that same group of games. Across the bottom of the main game board, there are the Galapagos Islands, a chain of 3 unique landscapes that can be traversed by your explorers, but only if your ship has gained access to them. And through a variety of worker placement spots, players will be able to sail their ship along their coasts, dropping off explorers to wander these islands, discovering species, setting up camps, and gaining an enormous amount of bonuses along the way. Not to mention that we might even see new locations be introduced via expansion, since we know that Darwin's long journey did not include just the Galapagos. And there is an immense amount of accomplishment that can be gained from carefully navigating your way across these island chains, including the always enjoyable satisfaction of performing combos. So at number 2, we have combos. And with any good Euro, combos for me are what can really breathe life into a game, where we as gamers have the opportunity to be creative with our own play styles within the game's design space. And this is usually accomplished by discovering subtle things within a game that we can take advantage of, or finding point scoring opportunities that weren't immediately visible at the start. And all of the decisions that you make in Darwin's Journey, from how you develop your workers, explore the islands, or even complete objectives that unlock abilities on your player board, contribute to your ability to find new ways to chain this progress together to further enhance the actions that you do take. And as I said, this can be incredibly satisfying when you are able to use just a single built-up worker to go to a location that provides a wealth of different bonuses, because you were able to read the board situation a turn or even a whole round or two earlier. And as the game progresses into the later rounds, these combos, they begin to amplify based on the progress that you've made. And the best part about this for me is that all of this can and will change from game to game based on my number 1 most intriguing thing. So coming in at number 1 is the game's variability, which is my absolute favorite thing about Darwin's Journey. Each game will be familiar, yet also extremely different based on the setup right at the start. And there are a wealth of components that will change from game to game, like these wax seals that enhance your workers and are available each round in very limited quantities, becoming a constant point of contention between the players, which in turn feeds into your set of crew cards that are drafted at the start of the game and will trigger powerful bonuses if they are fulfilled. Or the 6 variable worker placement tiles that provide powerful new actions if you're able to meet the requirements. And the list doesn't stop there. There are correspondence tiles, and objective tiles, and specimen tokens, and goal tiles, all of which again are randomly placed at the start of the game, ensuring that you'll have a different experience each time. More importantly though, your path to success will also be altered based on the tiles that are available that game. So again, reading the board early and planning out your path will be vital to your success. And I love that this game provides all of these variables to consider every single game that you play. So those are the 5 things that I found most intriguing about Darwin's Journey. Hey everyone, if you guys enjoyed this video, please consider dinging the old bell below. That is going to help notify you of new videos that are uploaded to our channel. And as always, give us a like, subscribe to our channel, and please consider watching all of our videos, one of which you can see right here to my left.